Round of 20, Group B. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. It's scary time.
It really is.
Reynor could get eliminated. He's got to go up against DRG. I do think Reynor probably still has this, but look, man, this isn't the results we thought we were going to have. We thought Reynor was going to get out easy.
Yeah, he was the favorite to get out in first of his group, but instead, elimination match against DRG. I mean, ZVT already a pretty volatile matchup. Not to say that the better player doesn't usually win, but this is a really risky territory here for him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do to each other. You know, ZVZ does have a wide range of different ways that you can play it. We were talking about this before we went to the break, but I want to mention it again. Like, the best players outside of Korea are Zergs.
Yeah.
Okay, that not all of them, but most of them are. That means that if you're going to be someone who can win tournaments like Reynor has been, you have to be top tier at ZVZ because you're engaging with other Zerg players, right? So that tells me Reynor should be fine.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And also, we had kind of a weird set of TVZs for our two best of threes. We had several games of CC first.
Every win was a CC first.
Yeah,
if I'm not
everyone.
mistaken.
Thank you.
Out
for
of
a
5
second,
games,
I lost count in my head. I'm like, how many was it?
Yeah, out of
that's
5
right.
games, 4 CC first, 4 CC first victories.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed in the interview how Bunny's like, yeah, I whipped out the OP build.
The
so I
OP
could
build.
beat him.
Well, the thing is, it's not OP if you just attack them early. So I don't know where Reynor's at exactly in a ZVT because we didn't really see a whole lot of normal ZVTs here. But I can't imagine the Dream does CC first again 2 times and wins, right? So there is a path, I think, that is pretty clear and probably likely that he'll move on. But if he doesn't, oh, chat's going to be so mad.
It would be sad, honestly. I want to see
Chat's
foreigners
gonna be
do well
shaky.
in GSL. I'll be a little bit upset if he wins, but
I'll be upset too.
yeah.
I think
So
it's
the winners
better
go
for
the
the show.
spoils, though. I mean, if DRG wins, it's because he deserves it.
Well,
and
that's the
to
thing,
no
yeah.
fault of his. So
Yeah.
I hope we get a really nice match, though. You know, these past couple ones, they've been really quick, and a ZVZ, that can go over fast. But
I'm okay for a long one.
Yeah.
I thought today was going to be super long. TVZ right now is the longest matchup in StarCraft 2, but today's TVZs are not reflecting that.
Yeah. I was talking with Scarlett before last night to kind of prep for the cast today, because I wanted to get like a little bit of a deep dive into TVZ, and she just kept talking about how like, yeah, Terrans, they just camp. They camp and they make
they
ghosts.
turtle. They try to kill you, and if it doesn't work out, they go, all right. They pull in reverse. You know that truck, the truck backing up sound. It comes and
they got all their siege tanks and all their ghosts.
That's
They're just
right.
sitting pretty.
They go, all right, let's let this Zerg mine out, and then we'll kill him.
Thankfully, though, none of that today. It's been really fun games in TVZ so far.
Yeah,
so
so
hopefully
far so good.
We continue that momentum into this ZVZ. Of course, Reynor versus DRG. 2 storied players. Reynor, top 2 foreigners of all time, in my opinion. DRG has a long history in GSL as a fantastic Zerg player, and we're going to be starting things out here on Cosmic Sapphire.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. You know, we could have some pretty crazy cheeses. That is possible in ZVZ. But we could also have some insane, epic, long, and dramatic games. DRG, certainly a viable player, ZVZ. He actually had some pretty crazy upsets. I think he beat Reynor, or not Reynor, Rogue.
Really?
ZVZ. I think he did, unless I'm making this up. Again, it's all soup in my brain. I'm not sure, State. Let's go to the ZVZ now on Cosmic Sapphire.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Reynor talking to himself. It looked like Reynor was saying the lyrics to the song. I could do this all day with an Italian accent.
Kaizen Gaming, Reynor.
In fairness, I talk to myself too when I play. Do you talk to yourself when you play?
Not really, no. I used to when I was younger, but not so much these days.
Team NV, DRG.
When I was younger, I used to be the kind of player that would like listen to music and all this other stuff when I play. And as I've gotten older, I'm like my late 20s. So as far as StarCraft 2 goes, probably still pretty young. Because I mean, like a lot of our players, a lot of our viewers have been around for like 10+ years, you know. But it's hard for me to do that, like multitask music and game. Like usually I just like game sound only now. and try to focus up, because otherwise, like, I don't know.
I feel like
focus,
I feel like I play better with music.
Mm.
I think I need to be careful, like, not to have the music too loud.
Yeah, that can be bad. But DRG is sticking on gas. So we did see a gas pool opening from him. I wasn't sure if this was just going to be for speedling, but looks like he's planning on getting really aggressive here, as he still has 3 guys mining from that geyser. Had nothing but Ling production so far.
All right, DRG going for the throat here.
Yeah. Baneling Nest already going down.
Now, this spawning pool's not done, and Reynor has not banked Larva. It's important to watch when the Lings are going to show up. Oh, this is like an all-in.
It is. He doesn't even have a queen.
Yeah.
It's just now starting. So DRG is really committed on this one, and as far as the build lineup goes, that hatchery, I don't think it's long for this world.
I think it can't be saved. So the first set of Lings are starting for Reynor. His Baneling's Nest will start when, I guess it was DRG's was about like 60% done.
Yeah.
Now he is positioning to basically barricade this off. Look at the positioning of DRG's Lings. He's there to catch the Lings as they hatch out.
Yeah. At this point, if I'm Reynor, I'm just canceling those,
now,
man.
This one Ling is buying time, by the way, for Reynor. Just chasing that around means the hatchery. Is he going to get this?
I don't think so. They have a little bit of carapace upgrades.
But he's buying time. He's doing a very good job of buying time. You have to be absolutely precise in your control here.
And this might give him enough time to actually get his own Banelings up and that Spine Crawler. So this is really good. Zergling speed now just starting for Reynor, just finished for DRG. So there's a large window where DRG is going to have an advantage.
What have I seen?
He doesn't want the Broodlings to get any links around it or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
All right, here we go.
Oh, good block, good block.
Yeah, that was nice. That's potentially a big hit, but Reynor's microing this pretty well. 3 drones go down. 16 to 17 workers now, but this has been some pretty good defense here by Reynor. I love that evolution chamber blocking the top side. You know, it was a little bit scary there for a moment, but it always is when Banelings are coming into mineral lines like this. But yeah, nice control here by Reynor so far. He has 2 queens out as well, so DRG will start droning. He is building a hatch, so it looks like we will eventually transition out of this. And
okay, so the maneuver by DRG to clobber him and end the game didn't work. No. Worker count now, it's 18 drones for, what was it? 18 drones for Reynor, excuse me, and 20 for DRG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, it's fairly even.
It is.
Reynor is going to come across the map, and, you know, there's not a ton to defend here.
And I think he's just droning behind this, so just getting a little bit of pressure in, maybe force 1 or 2 more sets of Lings out from DRG, or potentially even some Banelings as we see now. But DRG with an Overlord outside of Reynor's expansion knows that there's not too much craziness coming, and yeah, you see 2 more drones right there in the production tab, so things will normalize quite a bit, but DRG sitting pretty right now with the 3-worker lead.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to go into a macro ZVZ here. It doesn't seem like anybody can really do much to the other. There's enough Banelings to defend here. The Spines can shimmy down the ramp and set up for additional defense. I do wonder, with Reynor having the Spine already there, is there a more turtley build that he kind of would organically, shift into from here?
I don't know exactly about that, but certainly he might be able to skimp on a couple extra Zerglings having that Spine up there, because the defense is already there. Like, you can afford to just build a couple more drones because that Spine Crawler is going to pull some weight if you get attacked. And Reynor actually going to go all the way and take a 3rd base quite early here. We'll see if DRG decides to try and pressure this. Both players now getting their evolution chambers up. Reynor is first on the carapace upgrade. DRG taking his 3rd himself, but just a little bit behind Reynor in terms of timings, both on the carapace and on the hatchery.
So, we've had a lot of games where one guy goes 3 base, the other guy goes 2. Artosis, if he was here, he'd talk about how, one guy tends to make a lot of Lings and the other one tends to defend. We're watching for that. We'll know when that comes if the drones stop. Reynor does come forward here to put some pressure on that hatchery, but there's enough to drive him away.
Yeah, and it seems like both players are just going to kind of pivot towards Roaches. Like, no one's really committing much to the Lings.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's going to commit to any big attack so far here. They're basically filling in the necessary tech to healthily grow.
really mirrored here. The only main divergence I see right now is that Reynor is going up to a 4th geyser significantly quicker than DRG is, so potentially might be a little bit more Ravager heavy than what we see from DRG, but that just kind of remains to be seen right now. Worker count swinging slightly in the favor of Reynor, but of course just with the innate way that, you know, Zerglings, excuse me, larva hatches from injects, it's going to kind of swing both ways over the course of the game.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, this will probably be about as macro of a ZVZ as you could ask for here. The Banes are brutes enough. Yeah, he could just deflect by detonating his own Banes here.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if this was worth it for DRG because he's literally not getting anything that's of value. Lings can always be traded for Lings, but you know, even then, the Roaches are just going to pick these off easily. Armor's going to finish now. Let's see if he immediately hits that next upgrade.
He gets a little bit of scouting intel, but yeah, I think you're right. This doesn't really pay for itself. These Lings not really finding much value at all, as both players just kind of happy to continue droning, and eventually soon, I think we will see the Roaches begin to pump as we see +1 ranged weapons starting for both of these guys, as well as layers.
It does seem like Reynor is just slightly ahead in drones. Now, that doesn't mean that he's, you know, going to take the game by any means, but he, you know, it's a subtle thing in these mirror matchups, especially when two sides are macroing, when it seems like the games are basically dead even, and then you look down and one guy, like, look right now, he's almost 10 workers ahead, and that's like, okay, well, that's interesting, you know.
Yeah, and DRG is making a lot of drones, actually. Almost equalized already. There's very much an ebb and a flow to the worker counts in ZVZ that kind of makes it an art form. It's like a little bit of a dance, because as Zerg, you always want to make drones before you make your attacking units, because then, like, they're actually mining, you know? It's kind of a bad feeling when you have to produce army before you actually build up your economy, because that's an extended duration where you're not mining at your maximum capacity. But both players getting up to about 66 drones will be pretty much close to 3-base saturation. So from here on out, expect to see a lot more Roaches on the way.
Yeah, but Reynor's still kind of keeping that lead for most of this. And, you know, if we're going to get to 4-base versus 4-base, I guess DRG is actually just expanding. So it's going to be Reynor doing a timing attack here. Reynor seems to feel that oh no, I'm sorry, Reynor's expanding at 12. I stand corrected.
The way things have gone so far, I'm looking at this, and Reynor's got a pretty sizable lead in terms of army supply right now, and even in production, he's a couple Roaches ahead now, just tied, so he definitely has a numbers advantage. I mean, you talked a little bit about how it felt like over the course of this game, he's been just a couple of drones ahead this entire time, and now you kind of see it manifesting here in this pretty significant army lead, I would say.
I would say so. All right, here we go. He's going to be coming down now. Reynor is supply blocked. He lost an Overlord here, so he can't keep pumping behind this.
Coming on two sides now is Reynor. Nice little pickoff over there on the northeast side as the engagement continues here. DRG did opt to make a couple of Ravagers. Reynor dodging some of those shots, and right now the arc definitely favoring him, man. He has a huge numbers advantage.
Reynor's got like an arc on either side, really.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's basically just stretched the position. Okay, so that was simply tactics.
That was really
If this was
well
a
done.
fighting game, you'd call that footsies. So, you know,
he's playing footsies
he's
with
playing
his Roaches.
footsies with him and just came in there and then just killed the hatch and ran out. And that's all you need to do. You know, I think a lot of times people imagine Roach v. Roach is the two armies fight to the death. Well, not when Reynor plays.
Yeah,
Reynor basically juked and jived, picked off the hatchery, kept the zone, and now DRG is in a really bad spot because DRG, he actually has to figure out how to catch up, because Reynor on a base like this, he's going to be massively ahead.
Yeah, Reynor's looking to create an engagement right now because he has a 4 Roach drop going to the natural expansion of DRG, and here we go. Another engagement popping off. Keep your eye on the minimap as that drop is going to be going on pretty soon, but right now this engagement quite even. I think the bile is favoring DRG slightly, but Reynor seems to have a slight numbers advantage for now as the concave starting to shift in DRG's favor.
Oh, he's got the 4 Roaches in the back. This is great. This is going to catch reinforcements, and if the reinforcements can't kill it, Oluki
So
picks it up. And then he can go and drop on drones if he doesn't stay on top of that. That's going to give Reynor the time he needs to basically recover.
He has to be careful, though, because these engagements, he hasn't been getting the best fights all the time here, as the concave has been slightly favoring DRG in the past couple of skirmishes over here. And if that continues, we've already seen the army supplies equalize quite a bit here as DRG's getting a slight edge on these trades, and these biles are getting some connections too, so Reynor, he's got to watch out.
Okay, he's going to come here now. As long as Reynor keeps the hatch alive, he's going to be fine. And he seems to think he can. He just shoves in there.
Yeah.
Really good control by Reynor.
Yeah, really artful, dodging those biles and pushing up on these Ravagers.
200 supply to 165.
Yeah, that was a big swing right there with that engagement.
I almost need to see that in slow-mo to see what happened exactly there.
It's so tough to spot exactly like how these players are getting edges. And again, the four roach run by. Actually, both players going for run bys right now, but Reynor is on top of this one here in the main. In the meantime, DRG moving back with his main force to his main base, and Reynor getting the slightly better edge here. 6 drones going down for DRG, 2 going down for Reynor from mistake, and maybe I'm reading that incorrectly. Was that Reynor actually losing the 6 drones? I get confused sometimes in the mirrors with the UI.
I'm like, they're both Zerg. He's going to come in again. I mean, the math should have Reynor coming out on top. And he's just, look, he's keeping that exact angle where his arc is just better. There's too much of, like DRG shouldn't even be fighting at that angle. He should actually wrap around to the 4th, but already at the 4th, he's got roaches over here.
There's roaches everywhere for Reynor right now.
He splits some off to try to go for drones.
He even has them burrowed in the natural expansion of DRG, so not only does he have a sizable army lead right here in the middle, he's actually going to set up a nice sandwich right here. These roaches behind the mineral line, and I think we're seeing DRG start to fall apart.
Yeah, this may be too much here. He's just splitting the roaches perfectly. And drawing away too many into the back here.
The arc is so good right now for Reynor.
Dude, Reynor is so good. All right. I think we may be at the end of this game here because this, oh my God, he's even got roaches popping up here. GG, Reynor takes game 1. And that means he's just one more win away from going on to the final match here in Group B, GSL.
Yeah, really well played there by Reynor, man. I love how you describe it as footsies, because that's exactly what it was there. On that 4th base, just positioning his army very carefully, making sure that he gets an arc on both sides, and then he kind of rides that army advantage, knowing that he can kind of shed some units off to set up for harassment. He goes for a drop. That doesn't find too much damage. Then he goes for burrowed roaches. In the natural expansion, he has some more in the main. Just eking out every single advantage was Reynor, and he rides that to a victory in pretty convincing fashion there. I mean, mechanically, he just seemed on point.
Well, it's funny because it seemed, you know, it was a tense start, and then it was close in the mid game, and then I mean, he just kind of ducked, bobbed and weaved, I guess, and then killed the hatch and left. And then, you know, from there, DRG was under too much pressure to try to play catch up and overextended and died. We're gonna go to Data C. Yeah, short for CC, which is how the Terrans are beating Zergs now. And we're going to see what happens in ZZ, because that's this matchup, guys. Reynor vs. DRG, game 2.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day. There's nothing that I can't.
Kai Z Gaming, Reynor. Team NV, DRG.
So already a very different game. Both sides going for hatchery first. Artosis and me joke about games like this because we have to just, there's nothing to say. You can just look at the production tab and see what's going to happen. But you know, look, my takeaway from that last game that we had is really that you can see where Reynor gets considerably better than his opponent. It was very close, and then when it comes to moving around these armies, having a overlord with drop that you can harass queens and roaches with and drones, and then getting burrow and setting that up, you are literally seeing all the traps get laid, and then they're all going to spring at once right before we call GG, where DRG looks around and he's like, I cannot keep up.
Even the way he's maneuvering on the map during that is fantastic too, because as that drop was going into the natural expansion, you could see that he was kind of gunning to start an engagement. He was eager for it, and he even took a fight that he didn't even have a favorable concave, just because he's like, no, I want your eyes here while my roaches drop in your natural and start to pick off drones so that I can get that edge.
And I do feel like the best Korean player for that is probably Dark. When I see him do that, he really is extremely talented at kind of you know, it's a cause. In my head, I say starting fires. Like you start a little fire here, you go somewhere else, you start a little fire over there, and you know, and the fire is basically like I have a burrow roach here, and I'm going to unburrow and kill drones. And when he comes, I'm going to burrow again. If you can't put those fires out, the entire side of your map is going to burn down because this is going to start to spread, and eventually you're not going to have the resources, you're not going to have the bases. But you know, Reynor's showing really masterful ability in super long games for that. Now, let's also remember that DRG basically opened so that he would not ever be in that game like that. He opened to end it, right?
That's true.
He did a rush. He went for Baneling with no queen. Like he was dead set on trying to get in there and end the game.
It's interesting how sometimes these games that start off with such divergent builds like that, with you know, skipping the queen, going for Zergling speed and Banelings, and killing the natural expansion of your opponent, but then the attack fails in the main base, things equalize, and really from there it almost felt like we were mirrored once again. You know, both players were taking their third bases at the exact same time, relatively speaking. Both went for the same compositions at almost the same times. I mean, it was almost identical. So really, Reynor, where he got his edges that game is exactly what you said. It's starting fires, and I love that because that's a big part of RTS is just creating more problems for your opponent than they can create for you, and that's where you find the edges at the top level of play, because if you're able to out-multitask your opponent in that way, as we see Reynor actually coming in with a lot of Bane, a little bit more pressure from him this time than the previous game, but yeah, those starting fires, like, it's what he does really well, and it's the kind of thing that you build up as a skill when you compete with world-class Zergs all the time, as we see in the European scene.
Yeah, and I think, you know, anybody who's learning RTS, they first learn how to set up this powerful engine of taking bases, getting workers, having upgrades going, harassing. But then, you know, the really top-tier players, they learn how to do all that while trying to slow the opponent's engine down. And when you get two really good players, it's like they're trying to throw wrenches in each other's gears in every way possible. And yeah, that last game, that was Reynor really just like setting up for an insane closer where there's nothing the DRG could do.
I've got to say, I really like this Ling Bane pressure that we saw from Reynor here early on. The worker counts have almost equalized now, but there was a good almost minute where it felt like Reynor was maybe 7, 8 drones up just because DRG didn't have an exact read on the situation. And so that's another way that he's fighting an advantage here. And DRG going to try and get some counter damage in. 2 Banelings going to go into the third base. We'll pick up some drones, gets 3. The Ling run by in the main. Gets a nice turn out on the Queen. So DRG fighting back right now, getting some good trades in with these Lings and Banes.
Yeah, nice kill on the Queen there. DRG going to continue to run around here. Can he get another drone or anything like that? Not worth it to detonate that Bane.
Yeah, I like that counterattack from DRG, perhaps recognizing that he got bamboozled a little bit with those Lings running into the third base, because that worker advantage, that disparity was pretty large. And actually, we see Reynor going for a Spire as opposed to the Roaches here of DRG. What's your take on that?
Well, this is definitely, you know, one way to play. We've seen Spire play. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we've seen, you know, Roach versus, you know, Spire play. They both have ups and downs, right? The Mutas can defend, but it takes a little bit of time before they come out.
Yeah, this is looking a little scary. Because keep in mind, Reynor, not only is he going for Mutalist, which it takes they're very cost.
Well,
he can't do it, actually. He's making Roaches.
Yeah, he's just not going to save for Mutas. That's the play. That's basically what DRG's doing to him, is he's forcing him to not make Mutas here.
That's a smart call, too, because I was going to say, if he's going for Mutas, oh, that was a huge
good
hit.
shutdown.
Favorable trade there for Reynor, but still the count for DRG is so high right now. Actually, 7 drones going down, as DRG with a superior Roach count is going to be getting a cost-effective trade here as well. Reinforcements soon to pop here for Reynor. They might be able to slow this push down just a little bit, but so far DRG with a really nice engage.
Yeah, DRG is continuing to reinforce. He's making Lings because they get there faster than the Roaches do. As long as he has Roaches in the front, he can continue the push onward. And Reynor is starting to thin out here. A couple more Roaches hatch, and he does get a really good block. Had those Lings gotten into the main, it could have been very, very problematic. I mean, a lot of workers would have been picked off here.
Oh no, the surround on the Roaches here for DRG is really nice. Getting a lot more damage than you would otherwise with that surface area. And the third base for Reynor might be going down. And yeah, Reynor going for the Spire there. It's 200 minerals, 200 gas that he didn't have to produce army. And in addition to that, it was also up, I want to say, maybe 10, 15 drones.
Yeah.
And in that kind of situation, when you have that kind of worker disparity, the army count for DRG is just so high, and when you have the same units, like Roaches, Lings, and Banes, it kind of takes a miracle to go for a defense there. So Reynor really on the back foot now, losing that third base.
Sorry, did his Spire finish?
I believe it did. I don't think we've gotten a shot of it, but
Yeah.
even if it did finish.
Oh, no, he started
okay,
again.
starting
okay,
again.
Okay, so that answers that question. I was going to say, like, maybe he could go to the mute attack if, like, the Spire's done and try to play that out.
On 4 gas, I don't think he could, even if he had the Spire done already, which makes me a little bit surprised that he's going for it now, but perhaps he feels like he needs to create some kind of disparity in the unit compositions to come back in this game, because right now it definitely is in DRG's favor. He's double the army supply right now with the same worker count, and he has a 3rd hatchery.
Well, I mean, you know, there is no easy path here for Reynor this game.
No.
It's likely he's going to lose it. He has to basically play an uphill game. You know, if you both went Roach Bane, that Spire Tech didn't finish, that shows you how concerned he was when he saw the pressure. He literally cancels that for the extra, you know, few minerals and gas it gives.
He needs the best Baneling connections possibly in his career to be able to hold off this push, I think, because that's a lot of Lings coming in, going in for the surround. Banelings nest it back. 2 of them do go down, and this is just overwhelming numbers here for DRG. I think we're in the twilight of this game now. We might be going to Match4 tasteless.
Yeah, looks like DRG is going to crush through Reynor here. He has too much. Reinforcements come down. The spine finishes. There's just so many Roaches here. They're going to win every fight there is, and we are tied up 1-1.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you can see Reynor a little bit frustrated with that loss there. Just kind of caught in a bad situation. Overdrone just a little bit, opted for the Spire Tech, just had the wrong read there on DRG. And
Yeah,
DRG,
man.
he went for the killing move. He went for the Roach and the Ling timing attack, and he made it work.
That's crazy, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, DRG probably, you know, now reminded, okay, you actually can hang with Reynor in a normal game.
He can bleed.
You know, yeah, Reynor bleeds, that's right. Well, this is, you know, not looking good for Reynor. Oh, man, yeah, you can feel the frustration. I mean, this is a guy who's expecting to basically, you know, steal the GSL trophy. He's going to come through here and he's going to clap these kids one by one. But it's not happening. You know, that's a scary thing, man. Doesn't matter how good you are, no matter how confident you are. When you lose 1-2 to Bunny, now you're tied up 1-1 to DRG. Is Reynor going to be the first player knocked out in Group B?
Definitely feels like that might be the way, man.
Is it going to be like this map? Is he going to be inside and then out?
Oh,
no, not on this map. Oh, no.
I'm going to get your tarot cards and start doing fortunes
I just looked at this fortune cookie, and it's not looking good for Reynor.
Oh,
all right, guys. Game 3, let's go.
Oh my God. DRG's going for a 12 pool.
Well, bless your heart, DRG. We've all wanted to win badly. I respect it, dude.
I do too, but
I respect
this is scary, man. Reynor's got a lot on the line. This is an elimination match here in Group B. One of these players is going out of the GSL Code S. The winner will go on to face a Terran in the final match of the day, and it's Hatch first here for Reynor. Oh, man. I wouldn't say that Reynor is dead yet, but this is going to have to be a defense and a half.
Yeah, and you know, well, first of all, a couple positive thoughts before these Lings hatch and come down there and maybe end the game. Reynor did hold off, and not the same attack, but a similar idea in game 1. Okay, so Reynor did not flounder when it came to having to have perfect defense. 6 Lings coming down here.
Reynor's still droning. Hopefully that's the last one produced.
Yeah, these Lings are making a beeline, so they're going to go right under the Overlord. So right now he sees what's coming.
Yeah, Reynor knows this is a 12 pool, so we'll see. On his face, not expressing too much frustration. Very focused is Reynor.
Now, does he let the hatch finish? I mean, what is the sequence here?
He's going to try and
send the
defend
drone.
it.
Yeah. It's tough because this rush is engineered to come there right before it finishes, so it's like, oh, do I cancel this? Or
He's trying to buy time right now. And DRG, artfully, is getting a lot of damage on that hatchery now, going in for drones. And Reynor, he has to wait for these Zerglings to hatch. 4 in the main are on the way.
Hatch is at half health. Lings are coming down.
If he gets a good drone drill in on these Lings, he might be able to get a nice surround there with the Lings himself. Queen's in production now. DRG is starting to drone himself back at home. These counts, not too bad here for Reynor, and he is going to get a drone drill right here. Yeah, that's a really nice drill.
If you're trapped in here with me.
Wow, that's really well done there by Reynor.
So well done.
I'm not sure he's even lost a drone yet. Certainly not 2, or we would have seen it on the screen, and the Queen's out, and that was an immaculate defense, man.
The gamer's gamer.
That's an immaculate defense. Now, we might kind of go back to game 1 where things kind of equal. Oh, he's going to get an Overlord with this too, isn't he?
I think the Overlord was just a bad rally.
DRG overstepped just a little bit with that.
And he's going to get no-scoped.
That's...
Oh, run.
There
It's
we
the
go.
slowest chase in the world.
That's a pretty big deal, too. That's another larva that's not going to be a drone. It's going to slow the production for DRG quite a bit. And Reynor with fantastic defense there going hatch first. Going to be able to hold on, losing only 1 drone and taking some damage on the hatchery, but... I mean, that's pretty much a best-case scenario given the way these builds lined up, right? And now, what I'm kind of expecting is for things to go similar to the way they did in map number 1, where kind of the game equalizes a little bit, and we see that both players kind of go for maybe the same composition, but Reynor certainly has the edge now.
Yeah, and he's going to scout and see drones are hatching, so he just knows, okay, there's no like follow-up all in.
And critically also saw that there were no gases. The first gas now being taken here on the low ground for DRG, so...
Oh, he should get that one weak drone. Okay, never mind. He gets that Overlord. Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. Overlord for an Overlord.
So third hatch is going to come down. I don't know that Ling scouted that. I missed that.
The third hatch, yeah, I'm not sure either, actually. I think it might have just beelined into the natural expansion, but I could be mistaken as we see the Evolution Chamber going down here on the wall for Reynor. And Reynor right now with a 1-worker lead, but faster third hatch. And if I'm not mistaken, a superior queen count. So he's got to be content with his position, but by no means is this game severely advantaged for either player right now, despite the very stunning defense there by Reynor.
Yeah, I mean, DRG's rush failed, but he's recovered completely fine. Worker count is even. Evo Chambers going down on both sides here. Roach Warrens as well. Reynor's a little bit later.
Almost completely mirrored
And
yet again.
The armor upgrade has started first, though, for Reynor. Now, I mean, with Evo about... I'm sorry. Oh, and okay, and DRG gets the missile upgrade.
Huh. I'm not sure exactly how the math turns out on this.
Well, the armor upgrade's a little bit more expensive. But, you know, the armor upgrade, obviously, that counts for Lings, too.
And it counts a lot for Lings because of the high base armor of the Roach as well. And, like, no one's getting melee upgrades in this one.
Yeah,
so,
right.
honestly, given the way the upgrades are panning out, I kind of favor this here for Reynor, but we'll actually have to see how it goes in terms of unit compositions as the game develops. And both players now just kind of content. You see them keep throwing Lings into the bases, try to get an idea of exactly what the Roach timings are going to be, what the drone saturation is, and you see it right there on your screen. 66 applied to 67, 52 workers to 48. That was even just a moment ago. Things are quite even, but DRG pumping Roaches quite a bit. I want to see if he continues the Roach production or if he starts to go back into drones.
Yeah, he's up to 54. Again, I mean, you know, even if you catch up in workers, if they had more workers, then they mine more for, you know, a little bit more time than you. So, I mean, these things sort of, they add up, they pile on. But, I mean, I think Reynor is, you know, maybe, you know, 5%-ish ahead in development. That's not huge. Although it does, you know, I feel like DRG might try to attack coming up here. He's getting a second Evo Chamber, so he's not. I take that all back.
It did seem like it was kind of gearing up, but he did a big round of drones, and then, as you said, added that second Evolution Chamber.
Yeah.
So
if you see another Evo Chamber, then they're going to upgrade with it, so there's no reason they would attack you with it.
he wants to hit a timing later, potentially with 2-1 or 1. And both players now just kind of content to continue building up as the game continues to be remarkably mirrored. You know, the way that things opened up, I thought that Reynor might have a little bit more of an advantage, but it just goes to show that how good these players are rebounding. I mean, that was a 12-pull opener, and things equalize almost from like the 3-minute mark, it felt like. You know, like
Yeah.
same drone counts. The hatchery's a little bit faster there for Reynor, of course, because he got that hatch first, but DRG was able to leverage that into a even game. And now tunneling claws coming in for DRG is interesting to me. Huh. We might see him try to start some fires of his own, similar to Reynor in game number 1.
I think so. But Reynor is actually going to come out here. He's going to have his upgrade finish. He looks like he's ready for a fight.
Yeah, I like this here for Reynor as well because DRG's investing a lot of resources in the second evolution chamber and the other upgrades, tunneling claws and burrow, and that's going to give Reynor an army size advantage right now as he pushes in with a really big arc. DRG taking a lot more damage than Reynor is right now, even with the defender's advantage in the closer rally. That was a pretty good trade for Reynor to start things off. And he's continuing the attack. For a second, I thought he might back off.
Yeah, he does back off now. It's interesting. He moves and he knows exactly when to attack move versus when to target fire, just like that one we saw right there. And when to fork off those roaches. Now, he hasn't done the damage he needs to do yet. He hasn't overextended either. But now he's going to start breaking these roaches off into different groups. Now he's tearing down the rocks on that side of the map as well, which is going to give him a lot more ability to have kind of liquid movement with his army moving around the map.
I'm concerned for Reynor right now.
Yeah?
DRG's going to have better upgrades. The army supplies are dead even, and DRG has tunneling claws, which is going to be a problem for Reynor back at home very, very soon. So unless Reynor's able to get a really good engagement and a really good concave, or goes on the defense to try and shut down these tunneling claws, like this is a good start right here with this engagement. That's a lot of roaches going down, but this could be very problematic.
Well, hold on.
Oh, this
surround over here!
This surround is absolutely absurd here for Reynor. That is a fantastic arc. Gets so much value out of these roaches. Will it be enough, though, as the roaches are unburrowing back at home here for DRG, getting more drone kills?
Oh, and now DRG comes in with a very strong attack.
Reynor's tournament life on the line right now.
Honestly, I think DRG is ahead now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's undeniable.
That was a fantastic engagement over there in front of the third base for Reynor, but it might not be enough because not only is the upgrade advantage in DRG's favor, but these tunneling claw roaches, they keep picking off drones, and every time that Reynor's making a drone, that's yet another roach that's not on the field, and DRG's army supply is continuing to grow.
Well, he's torn down those rocks over there. He is going to clean up these roaches over here in his main.
Yeah,
I think that DRG might have too much.
Hold
up.
So.
More roaches come from the bottom. Can he reinforce this well enough?
Yeah, the arcs are almost even right now, but DRG getting a really good advantage. Fight right here. Files coming down. Reynor is pushing forward. It's so close right now, Tasteless.
Yeah, this is neck and neck right now. I think Reynor might barely have enough to fight this off.
Such good dodges there on those Biles. It's going to give him the momentum to push DRG back, and things starting to swing a little bit in his favor right now as he has an army supply lead for the first time in a long time. Continuing to push his Reynor.
And he dives hard on that one. All these roaches are so low, they can be shot down as they bump into each other trying to retreat. He pulls away at the last second. It is 78 army to 78 army supply. Both spike up shortly after that, but that was insane. That was crazy because like Reynor was on the ropes.
Reynor needed that engagement so badly. He dodged those Biles immaculately and then was able to close the gap and get all of his roaches in attacking range. Fantastic fight for him, but he's not out of the water yet. He still is behind on drones. You see him just now catch up, just now surpass DRG in the drone count. But again, the upgrade advantage isn't DRG's favor. However, if Reynor stays at home, I think he'll be able to hold on.
Yeah, Reynor's going to stay back for now, with upgrades being even here. It seems like DRG's itching for another fight.
It does seem that way. He does have the Ravager count advantage, 10-4, but Reynor's dodges have been superb so far here in map number 3. All right. A little bit of a skirmish here, both players testing the water.
Oh, that's a bad angle for DRG.
Yeah, you can't really push into this, even with Biles.
I don't think he should be attacking.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I feel like there's just no way. And now Reynor's going to go ahead and stretch out over here. It seems like he might have like a little bit more, at least on screen.
Yeah, both players pushing through this little choke point. They have less of an advantage. More drones going down there for Reynor, but Reynor gets really nice engagement over here on the south side.
Yeah, I think what DRG wanted to do is kind of jettison, stealthily these two roaches over here, but I'm worried that he traded out a decent amount of his maxed out army for that.
Getting queens is good though. Less injects is less roaches.
Yeah, very true.
Both players now maxed, almost equal worker counts, almost equal army supplies.
So we're going to like super late game ZVZ here, where there's just going to be a lot of tactics all over the map, big armies crashing into each other.
And behind this, Reynor has equalized the upgrades. So these are not inferior armies versus superior armies, and I like this concave here for Reynor. It feels like DRG keeps pushing into these angles that Reynor has the advantage, and Reynor, he knows it. Pushing forward, getting more damage in. Supply swinging in his favor now. These files, though, for DRG are really problematic.
Yeah, DRG, though, he's starting to, I think, well, no, he might not be overextending. The supply is insane and as far as the difference goes.
Yeah, huge round of production coming in for him now, and actually the Biles get enough damage in that Reynor's starting to bleed a lot of army supply. Briefly had to pull drones to try and hold off on this attack, but DRG with a huge swarm of roaches coming in now, 114 army supply to 74, and even more in production. For a second, it seemed like they were the arc. Reynor had the advantage, but the bile dodges just weren't there in that critical fight, and DRG with his high Ravager count now sitting at double digits was able to get so much damage done with those biles.
And man, I just don't know that Reynor can recover.
I'm not sure
he will be able to. This is a huge supply difference. He is going to burrow and heal up, but I think DRG already did that. 4 roaches come down here.
Oh no. Tunneling Claw's getting a lot of damage over there in that south base. In the meantime, DRG with a superior art, superior numbers. We might see Reynor tapping out here in just a moment. It's a huge upset, and Reynor's going to be the first player knocked out.
That's right, first player knocked out of Group B. DRG survives. It's going to be a match of DRG versus Dream up next here. Again, man, you never want to count out DRG.
This guy's a gamer.
This guy is a killer gamer. I can't believe it. I'll tell you, man, I didn't see that coming. I don't think Reynor saw that coming either, man. He had a hard day today.
It was a valiant effort there in Game 3, though. You could feel that he had kind of an inferior position there after DRG secured the upgrade advantage and the tunneling claws.
Yeah.
Reynor was able to fight back and keep things even for a long time, but critically, the superior gas count there for DRG, the biles coming in, swinging the tide in his favor there in a critical fight, and DRG is going to go on to the final match.
Yeah, that's right, man. We're going to go to that next, guys. Dream versus DRG for the final best of 3 in Group B. We'll be right back.